Hello dear friends, this video gonna be second update for today, this time for Patreon only, and as I promised, I'm gonna make video outside. During the daytime it was heavy raining. As you can see behind me, tank monument for tank T-3485, famous World War II era tank, and this composition here is about 1942, where when German forces were quite close to Vladikavkaz, but Soviet army did not allow Germans to breach the city, and this memorial commemorating memory of heroes that were defending Vladikavkaz. So yes, as I promised, I'm gonna make update outside, this second update, and sorry for quality of video. I can see that light is not really good, but you know. So yes, usually our updates on Patreon are kind of mix between news and informal talks, so I will continue this way. And there are quite a few very significant developments. But first of all, let me notice that I don't know what happened, but our update today already has about 11,000 views, most views from all the videos on my channel, and I don't know why. Really, I was surprised. It's just ordinary update, nothing special, I guess, but maybe algorithm did not suppress today my video, and if that's the case, then we can clearly see a difference when algorithm is suppressing video and when it not so much. Because usually, you know, whenever it's because we have now 14,000 members in our community, whenever views are more than 5,000, I think it's okay, because of course not everyone has time on daily basis to watch updates, and some may watch today, some may watch tomorrow. So whenever it's over 5,000 views, it's in my opinion it's good result, and today it's already 11,000. Maybe it will be 12 until morning. So yes, I don't know what happened there. And of course, one of the main topics of today's afternoon, Putin's meeting with war correspondents. He had meeting with journalists that are working on the front lines, and he did spoke about quite a few very significant topics. He said that when it comes to, for example, when it comes to special military operation, main goals of operation are still the same. It may adapt according to situation on the front line, but main principles are still the same. So I guess it's denazification and demilitarization. Putin also spoke about some sanitary zone. Maybe it will be necessary, according to Russian president, that Russian armed forces will create some kind of sanitary zone to make sure that Ukrainian forces won't be able to shell Russian territory. And he also spoke about this Ukrainian counteroffensive, and let me give you some numbers, because I find these numbers a bit exaggerated, if I may say it this way. I did show on my Telegram channel, and probably many of you did see, and just a sec, I will repeat if I may. So according to Putin, during this so-called offensive operations, counteroffensive operations, Ukrainian forces lost over 160 tanks, and over 360 armored vehicles. And same time, Russia lost about 54 tanks, among which some can be restored. And even though there was quite intense fight on the front line, on Zaporozhye direction, I did find these numbers a bit exaggerated or hardly believable. Maybe because this number comes from Russian missile strikes also on Ukrainian warehouses, where some military equipment was stored. Because you tell me, I mean, 160 tanks in 1 week's time. Well, I don't know about that. But maybe yes, maybe during these missile strikes and drone strikes, some warehouses were hit, and as a result, Russian intelligence did gather information that about overall on the front line and in those warehouses, 160 tanks were destroyed and 360 damaged. But it's it's quite a number, isn't it? Because just today, one of our members of our community did ask me a question in comment sections: how many tanks do Zelensky regime has left? And I did answer at least 300 to 400 tanks. In my opinion, they do have in operational state. And if Russia did destroy 160 tanks, then of course this number is much less now. So, of course, tomorrow I will talk about in main update on main channel. I will talk about Putin's statements in little more detail. But these numbers, yes, these numbers I did find difficult to believe. But yet again, maybe we don't know something, and probably we don't know something, isn't it? And he also spoke about red lines, and he said that recent strike on headquarters of Ukrainian headquarters of Ukraine's military intelligence was a response on crossing of red lines, and some other actions that Russian side is taking, including massive missile strikes on logistical infrastructure of Zelensky's regime. But excuse me. So what else? What else, man? Let me check some news. And of course, tomorrow I will also speak about statement that Medvedev made yesterday. I forgot to speak about this statement of Medvedev in today's update. I did open window with this news, but I have so many windows open on my notebook that sometimes I'm just missing some informations, unfortunately. So Medvedev did said that Maidan in Kiev, Maidan Square, will be part of Russia and Russian city in the future. So once again, Medvedev did deputy chairman of Russian Security Council and former president of Russian Federation, once again did highlight, in my understanding, Russian view how this conflict will end in Ukraine. And previously he did stated that Western regions, he acknowledged possibility that Western regions of Ukraine may become under control of Western neighbors of that failed state, and now he's saying that this Maidan Square will be part of Russia fairly soon, which of course means that Kiev will be in Russia. So that's the answer to a question that I was asking for quite a while whenever I was discussing future developments on Ukraine, because it was clear for me, or to me, from very beginning, that entire southeastern part will be under Russian control and western regions will be under control of Hungary, Poland and Romania, maybe Slovakia, but Kiev and surrounding regions, that was unknown to me for a while, because there was not that many indicators that Moscow has any plans about these areas, and this statement from Medvedev probably we can take as some kind of confirmation that Moscow has some plans on Kiev also and surrounding regions. So probably Ukraine, after this conflict will end, Ukraine will be divided between Russia and western neighbors of that country. Western regions will be under control of Hungary, Poland and Romania, and the rest of the Ukraine will be under control of Russian Federation. Or at least, I guess, that's a possibility. Otherwise, why would Medvedev say anything about Kiev? Because from Kharkov to Odessa, okay, everyone understands that these regions are and always was pro-Russian. They are Russian speakers in those areas mainly, and after all, these territories, this city is built by Russians. Odessa is built by Russians, and it's understandable that Russia will have a claim on those territories. But in other hand, Kiev, as I said quite a few times before, in Russia, Kiev called the mother of all Russian cities. So Kievian Rus is the first state that we can call beginning of from which we can count beginning of history of modern Russia as a state. Of course, there were some other cities also that were, claiming leadership of Russian people. Novgorod, first of all, but yes, Kiev state was called Kievian Rus. So yes, that's quite interesting. That's quite interesting, because Medvedev with this statement did give me at least some level of understanding that Moscow do have some plans about Kiev and surrounding areas. Let me give you some few more news. By the way, Russian TASS news agency is reporting that US will supply Ukraine with additional weapons for $325 million. I was expecting that new package will be over $2 billion. There was reports about it, but maybe this is some extra supply of weapons because of these heavy losses that Ukrainian forces had during this first week of offensive operations, and maybe some additional military equipment and ammunition will be delivered to Zelensky's regime. Also, Ukraine did ask Australia on condition of F-18 fighters there. That was those F-18 fighters are no longer in service, but they used to be until 2021 or 22, and they will be replaced by F-35s. And according to reports, initially Australia had about 70 F-18 fighter jets. Right now they have about 41 fighter jets, and from these fighter jets only a few 12 or 16 are still able to fly. So conditions of those planes are not exceptional, I guess, but still Zelensky's regime is acting like it always does and asking for weapons just everybody everywhere, and Australia is no exception. I don't see why Australians should even play this game. Leadership of Australia, why should they give any weapons whatsoever to Zelensky's regime? But yet again, you know my take on this whole story of Western fighter jets. I don't believe that Zelensky and his associates will ever have in their disposal any Western fighter jets. We will see Western fighter jets being introduced to this battlefield only when Western neighbors of Ukraine, who are also NATO member states, primarily Poland and Romania, will try to establish, maybe Slovakia, with help of some other NATO member states, will try to establish no-fly zone over the western regions of this country, of Ukraine, when they will deploy the troops there. But I don't think Zelensky will ever have any real control over the Western fighter jets. It's just too dangerous, really. I don't really understand what Western elites are thinking when they are supplying these long-range cruise missiles to those terrorists and Nazis. And fighter jets, no, that's not even red line. That's pure madness, really. So that's why no matter who and how many times Zelensky gonna ask for fighter jets, they will receive none, in my understanding. So yes, this video is already 17 minutes, so I will finish it here, if I may. Unfortunately, I was unable to go outside a little bit earlier because it was some tropical rain today in Vladikavkaz. It's still wet. If you can see, it's still wet. It was a very heavy rain. It was beautiful, of course, to listen to that rain, but it was impossible to go outside. So I was waiting for late afternoon so that I will come up and make some video, because I did promise. And by the way, today it did happen several times to me before. Today I just fell asleep right next to a notebook. Well, I truly have to do at least one day off a week on Saturdays. I'm constantly talking about it, and then I'm not really taking day off. But I do need one day off because 4 or 5 hours sleep at best are not enough, really. And today, as I said, I was updating my page on Telegram. I was looking for some interesting news and I just fell asleep. So yes, from this week, this Saturday, I will definitely take a day off. If nothing exceptional or special is happening, then I will have day off on Saturdays. Because once I wake up, I mean from early morning, from 7 to 8, let's say, and until 12 at night or 1 or 2 o'clock at night, I'm still constantly next to notebook, and whenever any interesting news, I'm uploading on Telegram. So basically I do work like, I don't know, 15-16 hours a day, and I do understand I'm not working on construction, of course, but still, when you are concentrated on something and spending so many hours, you will get tired. That's just inevitable, isn't it? So yes, this is it for now. I hope you will find this video interesting. Once again, I will show you this from a little bit far away, this T-34-85 legendary tank from Second World War. And yeah. Oh, it's a fountain there, not far away. Probably you can see this little square. But as I said, in Vladikavkaz there is many nicely done squares, and this city is quite green, really. There's trees everywhere, and yes, wonderful, wonderful flowers, you know. So this is it for now. I hope you will find this video interesting, and you know, I will definitely try to continue this extra to make these extra videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So maybe I will be able to generate some additional interest among our members of our community, so that I will have a little bit more subscribers on Patreon, because Patreon is one of the major lifelines, as I've said many times before, and I'm very grateful to all of you for your help and support. So this is it for now. Thank you very much for your attention, for your support. I wish you a great day, and take care. Bye for now.